society has consistently held these annual summits to take stocks of the gains we've made in the movement and propose strategies to improve, besides motivating paralegals to continue serving humanity. And this is what we have been reminded this morning by Esau, but also challenged to think and text about our financing. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather today, we celebrate the collective expertise and dedicated presence in this room and remarkable progress we have made as a society to strengthen the paralegal movement in Kenya. In this regard, the summit has provided us with a platform to interrogate this year's theme, strengthening paralegal movement in Kenya to enhance access, grassroots justice. The society acknowledges that paralegals are integral in promoting access to justice in the communities. They are the first point of contact for their community's justice needs. Further, you enjoy the trust of your community connections and have proved reliable in offering legal services and advice to your communities. It is of significance for us today that this summit takes place during the 16 days of activism against the campaign against gender-based violence, the global movement by the United Nations. Climate Change Conference, the 28th in Dubai. And all this, you see the footprints of our paralegals, because each of these global movements and these global themes and conversations ongoing touch at the very heart of our communities. And as Esau had mentioned, it is related to our sustainable development goals. So therefore, paralegals remain relevant in the fight for these global emerging issues, including climate justice, gender-based violence, and more importantly, underscore our fundamental right of access to justice. Ladies and gentlemen, as Dr. Sainna said, research and national statistics indicate that formal justice systems are increasingly inhospitable forums for dispute resolutions. One of the roles that Esau espoused for us today was that the paralegals provide mechanisms and means to alternative dispute resolution. It is costly to go to court, and many of you in your communities have experienced that. Delayed justice, costs, overwhelmed judiciary, but the justice needs are increasing. We are saying that informal justice systems are more accessible, affordable, and attuned to the cultural expectations of your communities. So therefore, you continue to bridge the gap between the formal and informal justice through providing legal aid and legal empowerment. We talk about legal aid loosely, but we would like to refer to legal aid as paralegals very broadly. Includes empowerment, creating awareness, providing information, directing communities when there's dispute resolution, connecting the local alternative justice models that exist in your communities. And in keeping with this year's theme, we posit that this legal empowerment is critical to enhancing grassroots justice. It is an effective way for you to enlighten basic legal knowledge and procedures of the court systems. In this regard, the Paralegal Society of Kenya emphasizes that regular trainings and capacity building of paralegals, including gathering annually to reflect, are critical in enhancing our capacities. And I think Mary had underscored that earlier, that indeed capacity building and continuous learning is something that will continue to focus as the Paralegal Society movement. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, paralegal movement is growing rapidly. I don't know how many you are now, Mary, in terms of the numbers in Kenya, but I think as we continue, our vision is to have in all the 47 counties at least key champions of justice who are also registered and accredited paralegals. In 2020, the Society launched a 5-year strategic plan that was promulgated, and its constitution promulgated also in 2021. These instruments pioneer a legal paralegal recruitment drive and establish a devolved system of governance, which we are calling county forums. It would be good to know how many of you here are registered with the Paralegal Society of Kenya, and if you're not, then we need to have you come on board so that we can increase our numbers, because numbers make a change, and we are the ones to bring change in our community. The idea to empower paralegal movement at the county levels and to operate functions under the guidance of the Secretariat is the vision of this paralegal movement. This therefore calls for all our collaborative efforts to ensure that all the initiatives we undertake are timely but also responsive to our communities. In this regard, the summit will provide a platform to share more ideas how to deepen our devolved strategy, and also call upon all development partners and ourselves to think, as Dr. says, creatively to find ways to sustain our movement, but more importantly, so that we can partner together to realize the vision of the Paralegal Society of Kenya and its key objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to delve into questions around legal aid, because as a justice champion, for me, justice issues and justice needs are the heart of ICJ Kenya's vision and mission, but also at the heart of the Paralegal Society of Kenya movement. Legal aid is crucial in facilitating access to justice, and as Dr. has earlier alluded, we continue to have issues of inconsistency of regulatory and weak enforcement of our Legal Aid Act. One of the things Dr. has highlighted is really the Legal Aid Fund. I'm hoping that from this summit, one of the resolutions is to find a strategy for us to demand from the state that they must operationalize the Legal Aid Fund. It is time for us to ask, not to beg, because it is our right in the Constitution, but also in the Act. So my rallying call for this year's summit is that we leave here with a resolution and even a petition perhaps to Parliament, Mary and colleagues, that we must have the legal aid operationalized. Kweli or rongo? Kweli rongo. We have made several proposals. We have made a case in our study on cost-benefit analysis. The state must listen to us. Finally, we must also have representation in key policy-making organs. And our call today, as we leave the summit also, is that from this we'll be able to have a communique to the state that the paralegals deserve a place in policy-making organs, so that we can also have our needs and our issues listened to, because it is our right. It is not. It is our right for the paralegals to be represented. Ladies and gentlemen, this year would not be complete without the PSK annual awards that target paralegals who've made most outstanding contributions to access to justice in their communities. The award aims to strengthen paralegal practice and movement in Kenya. So on my own behalf as the president, I wish to congratulate all the distinguished awardees. I don't know who they are, but we will be able to unveil them tomorrow. But really, it's a recognition that your work is not in vain. And as they say, the workers are few, but the harvest is plenty. So my sincere prayer is that on behalf of the council, we will be congratulating you, we'll be celebrating you, and we hope that you continue to encourage your communities to join this noble cause. So once again, thank you for joining us today. With sincere hope that you will leave this summit with key deliverables, key issues, and key messaging that we can take for advocacy to strengthen our movement.